6 Buddhist Lessons to Release Worry and Live in Peace After 60. There is a very quiet moment in a person's life. It is not loud. It does not arrive with warning. It carries no visible sign. Yet one day, when we finally sit down in a rare stillness of life, we suddenly realize. Outside, everything has slowed down. But inside, the mind has never truly rested. Age has passed 60. Work is no longer as urgent as before. Children have grown up. Many responsibilities have come to a close. The rush of making a living gradually fades into the background. And yet inside the heart, worries seem to have never left. Worry about health. Worry about children and grandchildren. Worry about money. Worry about the time that remains. Worry about what cannot be fixed from the past. Worry about the days ahead that no one knows how they will unfold. There are very long nights. Outside is silent, but inside the head is not. Old memories return. Old stories replay. All those if only. All those what if. All those I wish. All those if that day. They flow endlessly without rest. And then we ask ourselves, why does the heart grow more tired as we grow older? Why has life slowed down, yet the mind refuses to stop? Why have I traveled nearly an entire lifetime, yet still do not know what true peace really is? If you carry these questions in your heart, please know this. You are not alone. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Buddhism sees aging in a very different way. According to the Buddhist teachings, when a person passes through much suffering, the heart becomes softer. And a soft heart is not a weak heart. It is a heart that has become deep enough to see the fragile nature of life itself. And from this very softness, inner freedom begins to emerge. Today, we will slowly walk together through 6 Buddhist lessons, gentle, practical, and especially fitting for those who stand on the later slope of life to learn how to release worries of the past, loosen fears of the future, and rediscover genuine happiness after 60. Lesson 1. Slow down to hear your own life. There is a strange paradox in human life as we grow old. Outside, everything slows down. But inside, the mind runs faster than ever. When we were young, we were busy with food, work, family, children. The mind had to operate constantly to handle one task after another. We became accustomed to always having to prepare, guard, calculate, and strive. Many years passed. The nervous system became familiar with tension. Even when circumstances changed, the mind kept the old habit of worrying. Like a machine that has run at full speed for too long, when it finally stops, it still trembles in aftershocks. So after 60, many people say, there's nothing serious happening, yet my heart always feels heavy. There's no crisis, yet my mind is constantly unsettled. The Buddha taught something very simple. Worry is born from speed. Peace is born from stillness. For most of our lives, we have lived in a rush. Rushing to survive. Rushing to raise children. Rushing to fulfill duties. Rushing to carry burdens. But rarely did we truly slow down to listen to where we are tired, where we are hurting, and where we need comfort. Slowing down is not laziness. Slowing down is awareness. Slowing down is returning to yourself. You can begin with very small things. Breathe a little slower. Eat a little slower. Walk a little slower. Speak to yourself a little more gently. Stop forcing yourself to be okay immediately. When you allow yourself to slow down, you begin to hear the parts of you that were abandoned for decades. The part that needs rest. The part that needs understanding. The part that needs to be loved as a human being. You will slowly realize. So many things that once kept you awake at night eventually passed. So many fears you thought you could not survive, you somehow lived through. And in that slowing down, a very different kind of happiness appears. Not a loud happiness, but a quiet warmth, like the late afternoon sunlight slipping through the curtain. It does not intoxicate you, but it makes you grateful that you are still alive. Lesson 2. Befriend impermanence. One of the most essential truths in Buddhism is this. Everything is impermanent. Nothing lasts forever. When we were young, impermanence frightened us. We feared losing those we love. We feared losing health. We feared losing status. We feared losing the future. But after 60, impermanence becomes a profound consolation. Look back at the life you have walked. The pains that once made you feel you could not go on. The losses that once broke you. The failures that once made you unable to face your own reflection. Where are they now? They did not disappear entirely. But their pain is no longer as fierce as it once was. Time, in a very silent way, has softened countless wounds. That is impermanence. If suffering can change, then happiness can too. If sorrow once came and left, today's worry will not stay forever. When impermanence truly sinks in, we begin to stop clinging tightly to what lies beyond our control, fearing what has not yet happened, grasping at what no longer belongs to us. We learn to whisper to ourselves, "This moment is enough, and it too will pass. This sadness is real, and it too will pass. This fear feels heavy, and it too will pass. This joy is precious, and it too will pass." And precisely because it will pass, we begin to cherish it. After 60, joy is often found in the smallest things. Holding a warm cup of water in the morning. Listening to the wind through the porch. A gentle conversation. Soft sunlight in an old home. No longer needing grand things. Only needing true things. Impermanence also heals regret. We look at the past not with self-blame anymore, but with understanding. Back then, I did the best I could with the understanding I had. Because of impermanence, we are allowed to change. Allowed to live differently. Allowed to release what no longer fits the present. And then, we begin to live in the present not because it is fashionable to be mindful, but because we truly understand. Only the present is where life is actually happening. Lesson 3. Releasing the invisible burdens carried for decades. There is a truth few speak about aging. As age increases, invisible burdens grow heavier. These are not burdens of the body. They are burdens of emotion. Unclosed memories. Apologies never heard. Wounds endured in silence. Roles carried for a lifetime. Countless times we said "I'm fine," while the heart was full of scars. All of these quietly accumulate year after year. When we were young, busyness numbed us. When life slows down, they rise clearly in the chest, in the breath, in sleepless nights. The Buddha taught, suffering does not come from life itself. Suffering comes from holding on to what no longer needs to be held. Letting go does not mean forgetting. Letting go does not mean pretending we were never hurt. Letting go does not mean we must forgive immediately. Letting go simply means loosening the hand that is gripping too tightly. You do not have to release everything in one day. You only need to begin with one honest acknowledgement. That situation hurt me. That person wounded me. That pressure exhausted me. The moment you dare to face this truth, the burden already becomes lighter. Then comes compassion for yourself. Instead of asking, "Why was I so weak? Why was I so foolish? Why wasn't I stronger back then?" Say instead, "Back then, I did the best I could within my circumstances." Each day, simply choose to soften one old thought, to stop one painful memory, to release one expectation that no longer serves. Little by little, energy returns. Breath becomes deeper. Mind becomes lighter. And in this newly created space, joy finally has room to enter. Lesson 4. Learning to be compassionate with yourself. When we were young, we were often very harsh with ourselves. We forced ourselves to be strong, to be capable, to be right, to carry everything, to endure everything. Strangely, in old age, we forgive others easily yet remain as strict with ourselves as ever. We can say to others, "It's okay. Things will pass. Don't blame yourself." But to ourselves, we say, "Why am I not better? Why am I so weak? Why can't I even overcome such a simple thing?" Buddhism calls this a silent injustice toward one's own soul. The Buddha never taught people to become unfeeling iron. True wisdom always walks hand in hand with gentleness. Compassion is not only for others. It must first be given to oneself. After 60, you do not only age physically, you also carry new limitations, changes in health, gradual losses, old roles closing their chapters. If you keep using the old whip on yourself in this phase, the soul only grows more exhausted. Being compassionate with yourself is not indulgence. It is not giving up. It is the acknowledgement that you, too, are a human being moving through impermanence. Self-compassion begins with very small words that carry deep healing. When tired, don't say, "Why am I so weak?" Say instead, "Thank you, body, for accompanying me all these years." When memory fades, don't say, "I am useless now." Say instead, "Slowing down is also a way of living." When lonely, don't say, "No one needs me anymore." Say instead, "Now I have the chance to return to myself." The Buddha taught, the greatest suffering does not come from circumstances, but from resisting our own circumstances. When resistance ends, when we allow ourselves to be exactly who we are in the present, the door to peace begins to open. Self-compassion is also the strongest medicine to dissolve anxiety. Anxiety grows from self-blame, from the feeling that we must always be good enough, perfect enough, proving something. But when you allow yourself to be imperfect, to stop proving, to stop carrying, anxiety gradually loses the ground it stands on. When a person feels safe within their own inner world, happiness no longer needs to be chased. It becomes a natural state. Lesson 5. Cultivating a daily garden of peace. Many people believe happiness comes only from major changes. Moving to a new place, having more money, receiving more attention, experiencing some major positive event. But Buddhism sees happiness in a completely different way. The Buddha taught, lasting happiness is born not from events, but from habits. After 60, you possess something very precious that youth rarely gives you: time. And you have the right to use that time to cultivate a peaceful garden within yourself. This garden of peace does not require formal rituals. It does not require hours of chanting. It does not require mountain retreats. It only needs gentle, small, consistent practices, repeated daily. The Buddha taught, the first thing the mind touches in the morning determines the quality of the entire day. Many people over 60 wake up with a storm of worries. Worry about illness. Worry about children. Worry about money. Worry about unfinished matters. When every morning begins like this, the day is covered in clouds. Try starting the day with something very small. One slow breath. One simple gratitude. I can still breathe today. That is already a blessing. One warm glass of water, sip slowly. One gentle intention, today, I choose to live lightly. Just a few minutes like this, and the mind already has an anchor. Each day, you should also do one thing not for duty, not for achievement, not for others, only because your heart feels lighter with it. Listening to old music. Tending a plant. Watching sunlight. Writing a few lines in a journal. Walking without destination. Talking with someone who makes you feel safe. The Buddha taught, a small joy, when fully received, becomes a great joy. Throughout the day, create moments of conscious pause. One deep breath when emotions swirl. 1 second of stillness before reacting. 1 minute with closed eyes when thoughts rush in. Only one such pause is enough to break the momentum of anxiety. At night, instead of carrying every unfinished thing to bed, end the day with a ritual of release. Today has passed. What cannot be changed, I return to tomorrow. I have done enough within my capacity. If possible, recall 3 gentle moments of the day, no matter how small. When the heart closes the day with gratitude, sleep becomes deeper, and tomorrow begins more lightly than today. Over time, this garden of peace slowly grows. Happiness is no longer something accidental. It becomes an inner habit. Lesson 6. Releasing the old ego, living as a new person. One of the heaviest burdens after 60 is not illness but the ego of the past. You were once the pillar. Once the problem solver, once the one not allowed to be weak, once the one who had to bear everything, once the one who could not be wrong. Then one day, time quietly loosens all those titles from your hands. If you keep clinging to the old image, suffering arises. The Buddha taught, each stage of life is a different season. What fit the previous season may become a burden in the next. Old age is no longer the season of proving, competing, achieving. It is the season of letting go, lightness, stillness, living truthfully. A great suffering of old age is living inside old stories. I used to be so capable. I used to be so strong. I used to do everything. None of these are wrong. But if you live inside them, you miss the beauty of who you are now. Releasing the old ego does not mean losing yourself. It means making space for a deeper version of yourself to emerge. After 60, many people rediscover the creative self, the quiet self, the simple self, the self that loves solitude, the self that no longer needs to prove anything. This is the soul returning to its original nature without roles, without titles, without armor. There will be moments of fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of becoming invisible. Fear of no longer being important. But the Buddha taught, when we stop living to satisfy others' images of us, we begin living for our own truth. You lose nothing by releasing the old ego. You are simply returning what was never truly you. Happiness after 60 is not about adding more. It is about letting go. The 6 Buddhist lessons we have walked through do not promise an entirely new life. They simply help untie inner knots. You don't need to worry less by thinking more. You only need to slow down. You don't need to cling to the past. You only need to understand impermanence. You don't need to be strong forever. You only need to release old burdens. You don't need to be harsh with yourself. You only need compassion. You don't need to wait for a special day. You only need to build peace from small things each day. You don't need to live like you once did. You only need to live truthfully as who you are now. Buddhism does not promise that life after 60 will be free from suffering. But it teaches this. Suffering becomes lighter when we stop resisting it. Happiness is not when everything becomes perfect. Happiness is when you no longer need everything to be perfect before allowing yourself to be at peace. From today, if possible, try to do one small thing each day for your inner world. One slow breath. One softened thought. One released memory. One ego gently laid down. Bit by bit, you will feel your heart grow lighter, your breath deepen, your worries loosen their grip, and joy begin to return. Not loudly, but as a very deep stillness within the heart.
Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch more interesting videos.